Hey y'all, welcome back to Simple Sanctuary Garden. My name is Sarah. This week I am joining in the Garden Goals collaboration with Wolterman Homestead and Not a Green Thumb. I've loved hearing everybody's answers, so I thought I would jump in and share my own. The first question is, what is a new plant that you are growing this year? I'm actually growing a lot of new things. The one that I think I'm most excited about is actually kind of common. I'm growing loofah for the first time, which is really, really cool. The loofah gourds themselves just seem to spring up overnight. So you'll come out one morning and there's suddenly this little baby loofah gourd, and then it feels like the very next day it's massive and filling out, and they're just so much fun. The flowers don't last very long. They only last for like a day, but when they open, the pollinators, at least here in Florida, are just drawn to them. So we're getting tons of great bumblebees and big butterflies. So whether or not I'm super successful growing loofah, I think I'm always going to grow it just because of the pollinators that it attracts. It's a lot of fun. The second question is, what is my most adventurous garden goal this year? And I think that our most adventurous goal was trying to grow something in the ground. We are in Central Florida. Our soil is super sandy, so it doesn't hold any kind of moisture. It really doesn't hold any nutrients. It's incredibly hard to grow in. And my husband has been playing around with this patch of our yard, growing beans in it for actually the past year continually. And we tried to grow some corn. It had mixed results. But I think that's probably where we were, if not the most adventurous, the most ambitious. The third question hit home. So that question is, what is a goal you had in the beginning and already failed? And I think that was probably my food sanctuary challenge, which I'm currently reworking. That's why you haven't heard too much about it recently. I started it with the idea of showing how a suburban backyard can be actually a food sanctuary, and you can grow a good portion of your own food and add so much variety and nutrients to your regular meals. And I made the mistake of setting like a grocery budget goal with it instead of just showing how you can supplement what you're already doing. And it worked. Like financially it works out, but it's not very interesting to say the least. So I think that's where I failed in my garden goals for this year. I'm reworking that. I don't think it's a complete and utter failure. I'm just trying to figure out how to highlight using a suburban backyard as a food sanctuary. So more on that to come. Okay, something that wasn't a goal, but I'm really glad happened. And I think the Thai soldier beans would count for that. I've shared about that in a couple videos. They are not what I expected them to be at all, but I think I love them even more than I would have if they'd been what I thought they were. So I had no idea what a bush habit bean was, which I still don't understand why it's called a bush habit, because it definitely runs. But I love them. They taste so good, whether you save them like for shelling beans, if you let them dry out, if you use them as more of like a snap bean. We love them. They are super productive. The July Florida heat, which kills absolutely everything, has not phased them. If anything, production is going way up. So they are a massive success, and I'm probably going to grow them for the rest of my life because they're pretty fantastic. This last question is my 5-year down the road garden goal. It may not sound like this is technically a garden goal, but I promise it is. 5 years from now, I want to be gardening with kids. That's my 5-year garden goal. I want to be sharing the garden with little ones. That's a blessing we have been praying for a couple years now. I think we're finally starting to hear the Lord's message in which way to go in that pursuit. So pray for us in that arena, but that's my 5-year garden goal. Other than that, I don't know what 5 years down the road is going to look like for us, but hopefully there's wee ones running around. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Be sure and check out the full playlist for everyone who is participating in the Garden Goals collaboration. You can find it over on the Wolterman Homestead YouTube page. I will link to it down below. And if you haven't done it already, be sure and hit like and subscribe to follow along with us. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk soon.